Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move.
Go. Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Down. Down.
Are we good?
Shooters down.
Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Shooters down. We're good to move.
We're clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes.
Got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down. My shoes.
Watch out.
Wait.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is Dave Life, and welcome to Dave Life TV News. We are watching. Wow, like this is real time, and this is real life. Donald Trump at a rally has been apparently shot at or shot. Shots were fired at this rally. See if I can play that again. Shots were fired at this rally. We'll try to rewind it for you guys. This is live. This is new. It's breaking. So Trump is speaking at a rally, and you can hear some shots, some pops in the background. Let's try to get that back going. You can hear some pops in the background. He immediately grabs his right ear. He drops down. Secret Service swarms him. You hear multiple shots after that. Secret Service continues to swarm him. And then you see soldiers, rush the stage. And then you hear someone in the audience says, or someone says, shoot her down, shoot her down. And then Donald Trump comes up, clearly with blood on his right ear, clearly in distress from being shot at. And he says, wait, let me get my shoes. And then he puts up a right fist to the audience. And the audience cheers because he is okay. This is breaking news, and it's scary because you don't ever want to see, regardless of a person's political beliefs, you don't want to see a president or former president shot at. Like, that's not the American way. It's breaking news, man. If you want to join the show, the link is in the comments. I'll add the link down there so people can join. Thank you for watching. Everyone is watching on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Man, I'm kind of in shock. I'm like, what is going on in this country where we're trying to, we're going back to the 60s. We're trying to assassinate presidents and speakers. And whether we agree with them or not is not the point. Is this where we are today? Listen to this, y'all. It's not good.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move.
Go. Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Down. Down.
Are we good?
Shooters down.
Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Shooters down. We're good to move.
We're clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Let's move.
We're clear.
got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes on.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes on.
Okay, my shoes down. Get the shoes.
Watch out.
Wait.
Right there. The moment of I'm okay, I survived. I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you, this ain't theater. This is real. You know, and I know there are some that would say, "Hey, is this real?" Some would question. Some would question. Some would question. Um, is this real? I see some comments. Put your comments in the down below. I will look at them. I will read them. What are your reactions, man? How do y'all feel about Donald Trump being shot at? Do you believe it was real? Do you believe it was staged? I have to ask that question because that question was posed to me. When I immediately called people for reaction, some people said, "Hey, political theater. This might not be real. This might be a way to foster sympathy." I'm not going to go that far because a person gets shot at, it's a real thing. You know, they immediately grabbed their ear, they dug down. Clearly it was like, what is going on? Right? They come up with blood on their head. That ain't cool, man. Regardless of your political affiliation. Okay? I need feedback. How do y'all feel about what's happening in front of us? I mean, how do y'all feel about this? Mm-mm. You turn it. Just listen to the shots. I think these are real shots. No, that's okay. So look, I'm gonna be playing multiple clips because I think I have a different angle.
And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Yeah, these are shots, man. All right, so I'm going to be pausing and playing this. Y'all bear with me. This is a live telecast. All right, so Miss Angie said it may be a little bit of both because who was coming back to the stage after being shot? I don't think he did come back to the stage. They rushed him and he left the venue. I think what happened was, and I'm going to play it. Miss Angie. I think what happened was he was speaking. So I have one clip where he's speaking and he gets shot. That clip is only a few seconds. Then I have the other clip where he starts getting shot and it's a full 2 minutes. So I'll try to play them back to back. But I think what happens is he's speaking to the crowd. You hear a pop and he immediately grabs his ear and he's looking around and hear pop, pop, pop. And then he ducks. And when he ducks, here comes Secret Service to kind of cover him and protect him. And I think he was still down. I don't think he left the stage. I think he was down. And we'll try to watch that from both angles.
And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
So that's the original clip where that's the original clip where he originally jumped down. Here is the second clip. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, y'all gotta excuse the rudimentary recording screenshots. I mean, but it was breaking news, and I wanted to get this to you quickly.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here.
We ready? Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
We're
Let's
clear.
move. Let's move.
We're clear.
Yeah, this is something else.
Let me get my shoes.
Got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the bus.
I think the last time,
Okay, my shoes down. My shoes.
I think that I'm turning it down a little bit. Okay. I think the last time a presidential assassination attempt was Ronald Reagan in the 80s. I know a man shot Reagan. I remember that. This is scary. Whether or not it's fake, Susie said whether or not it's real or fake, this will help his campaign somehow. And look, that's something that can be discussed. That's something that can be discussed. That this could help his campaign. I would hate to think that it was a political trick. I don't think getting shot is something that you ever want to fake. For instance, I know some people have said, "Oh, Suge Knight was shot. It grazed his head, and Suge Knight, set everything up." I don't know if any man would risk actually getting killed to stage a fake assassination attempt to garner any sort of support or cover up any crime. That would be stupid. And I don't know. That would be something extreme. So I'm not going to go that far. But it will help his campaign. I'm sure that it will garner sympathy and support. But let's really talk about the fact that what's going on in our country where we're trying to shoot presidents. What's going on in our country where we're trying to shoot presidents and former presidents? Like I said, the last time this happened was in the 80s with Reagan. And I need to look that up to find out exactly the details, because I was a child when that one happened. And before that, of course, would have been JFK, an actual assassination. So where are we at in this world? I think something's up. All right. Another comment. After January 6th, anything is possible with Donald Trump. Well, that is something to think about, because January 6th, in a lot of people's minds, was treason. So, but a lot of people say, oh, that he didn't incite that. He was asking those people to rally nicely. All that's debatable. Something else. Let me see if I can pull up some live coverage, y'all. Let me see if I can pull up live coverage, because I want to see what's going on. See if I can pull up some live coverage of some live news coverage, because I know they got some. There you go. All right, let's see. We got Fox 7, Austin. Looks like they got some coverage. So we're gonna jump right into their live coverage just to see where they're at with it, you guys. Let's see if we have any good information. What can they share?
Rally. We're waiting to learn more about what Biden has to say on this situation. Then we have here a tweet from Team Trump via his spokesperson. President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. He is fine and is being checked out at a local medical facility. More details will follow. And then we also have a tweet from his son, Donald Trump Jr., with a photo here from that rally saying he'll never stop fighting to save America. In this photo, you can also see the blood on the former president's face at the top of his right ear. We did see the moments when he reached for that right ear and he went down behind the podium trying to take cover in this situation. It was very quick, very chaotic. We played it for you here as all of that went down. Let's bring back into the conversation now. Our national security expert, counterterrorism expert, and also someone who has worked closely with the Secret Service, Hal Kempfert, continues to join me here. Hal, let's keep dissecting the situation as we wait to learn any more official news from investigators looking into this. So,
All right. So I'm going to mute them for a second. Um, it seems that Donald Trump was shot in reality. And like I said, when you watch the actual shooting, when you hear that first pop, he immediately grabs. I don't think you can act that. I don't think you can act that. I think this is a real shooting. I think somebody tried to take out the former president. Here, let's listen a little bit more of the broadcast.
Clearly that something had struck him around the ear. We see blood. That's where he reached. So somewhere around the ear, and I'm assuming it probably hit his ear. And then you see obviously blood that was smeared across his face. But he didn't. It doesn't look like it was. And certainly the reports are that he's fine. I'm going to probably assume that it wasn't a traumatic injury. It was one. As they would have said, he got winged in the ear, and there would be a lot of blood loss if you got shot in around your ear. So that's what we're seeing there. But now look in the scene. See where all those people in the back, on to his right, our left side of the screen. Now, instinctively, if there's something like this going on, people want to see what's happening, and you see a lot of people looking down, trying to see what's going on with President Trump. But what you see is a lot of people, as you look to the left-hand side, they're looking out because there's something that got their attention. And that something may have been a shooter. And if you look at where his head was positioned, looking off to the right, when he reached up to his ear and we heard the popping noise, that is indicative that somebody could have been out there that may have shot something. That would also probably explain why we've heard nothing more about anybody. As you see, he's surrounded by people. So if there were shots from, say, down below up to him, you would expect with multiple shots, somebody in and around him or behind him might have been hit. And there's been no reports that anybody was hit, which would be, if I'm looking at everything there's a couple of channels, if you will, where if a shot was fired, that a round that was not stopped would and kept going, would have probably landed somewhere where it wouldn't have impacted anyone, and that would be indicative of something coming off. Based on what we're seeing, we don't know. We don't have enough information yet, but based on what we're seeing, something.
I agree with that.
Right-hand side.
I'm gonna turn them down just briefly. I do welcome to the broadcast, you guys. It's Dave Life TV News. We're covering the fact that Trump has been shot at a rally. And I do agree that something happened to the left. This is live coverage over on Fox 7 in Austin. So they're covering it. We're going to kind of do our commentation on top of what they're showing here. But Trump was shot. His left ear was apparently grazed, and people on his right ear was grazed. People on the right of him, to our left, when we're looking at the screen in reverse, they were looking to the right, which would be our left, to see what was going on. So apparently something came across him. He ducks. And then when you hear multiple shots, I don't know, and I haven't heard if the shooter is alive or if the shooter was spotted. But I did hear on camera that the shooter was down. They said, shooter down, shooter down. Someone asked a question, did anyone hear that the shooter was killed? I didn't hear that just yet, but I'm looking into it. All right, let's go back and let's actually look at the video one more time. Let me see. Well, they're talking about Lincoln being shot.
There was a plot that was uncovered in Ukraine, assassination plot, where they literally were going to take out, President Zelensky and others as a plot to overthrow the government. Now, obviously, Donald Trump is not the sitting president, so there wouldn't be anything that would upset the government, if you will. but he is, they're down to two candidates for president. It is an election year, and so it could be something that has very, obviously something that probably has some sort of political motive.
It could be a political motive. It could be. And so they're now pontificating on whether or not this could be a conspiracy. Could there be more behind it? I agree. It could be. Susie said, if this is real, there's a lot of people angry about the fact that he's able to run for president as a felon, while felons can't even vote for who will have leadership over them. I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of talk going on. Guys, thank you for joining. Let's keep watching. Let's keep watching. I'm still in shock. All right.
And
So
if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
you can see as he was talking, more pops. You can see as he was popping, as he was talking, it happened over to his left.
And if you want to really see something that said,
To his
take a look
right.
at what happened.
So you can hear four initial shots. You can hear four initial shots in succession. And then I think I heard six more shots and then one shot. So, I mean, it could have been four shots from the shooter and then six from responding from authorities. Let's see. Let me rewind that one. This is the one. Not good. Not good at all.
Moving his spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here, move it to spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
You ready?
Down. Down.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Down. We're good to move.
Shooters down. Oh, we good to move.
We're clear.
That was the part. Shooters down. We are good to move.
Good to move.
Down. We're good to move.
Right there.
Down. Down.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Down. We're good to move.
Clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes. Sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes.
Let me get my shoes.
Watch out.
Look, you gotta give him credit though. I'm not bullshitting. Oh wow. Susie said Susie said one thing's for sure, time and time again has been proven that Trump is in good health. Yeah. I mean, look, he definitely let us know, hey, look, I'm still here. They could try what they tried, but they missed. So, clearly. All right, let's go back to the live broadcast and see what they have, what they're saying over here in Austin.
And saying, hey, you need to kind of, pardon the expression, hunker down. You don't need to go out and do things. You might want to take a heightened security posture. And if they don't have security, they should probably do that. Now, if they are a sitting governor or something like Governor Youngkin, he would have his own state security force that would probably heighten his personal security. And then, of course, for those who might be a senator, the Capitol Hill Police has personal security individuals who might be immediately assigned to some of these, those who might be on the short list or those who might be higher profile. And then they're going to be also looking at, leaders in Congress and in fact,
So
all
they're still discussing
every cabinet member has
who could be targeted,
secret, or I should say,
who may have known.
Has her own police force.
Yeah, they're discussing protecting other lawmakers and other politicians. I saw that they're saying that President Trump was grazed. All right, Susie says, I just realized if that hit his ear, they were definitely aiming for a headshot. This could have been a very, very different news report. I agree, which is why I thought it was so important that we jump up and discuss it. Listen, y'all, this is an assassination attempt on a president, whether or not he's not a sitting president, but he's still a president. No, I haven't seen this since Reagan. And we hadn't seen it before that since JFK. And before that, I want to say Lincoln. This ain't good. Oh, they're talking about the shooter.
Confirmed ourselves, but the Washington Post.
Trump was grazed by gunfire on him. An audience member was killed, and the shooter is dead. Another person is in serious condition. So, Butler County District Attorney Richard Goldinger is saying that Trump was grazed by gunfire, but is safe. And an audience member was killed and the shooter is dead. Another person is in serious condition, the prosecutor said. So it sounds like the shooter was different than the audience member that was killed. Could be the same person, but it sounds like the way this reads that an audience member was killed and the shooter is dead and another person is in serious. So it sounds like two fatalities and one serious condition. Let's keep watching.
Is reporting that for now. So just to back up, an audience member dead,
okay.
The shooter dead, another person in serious condition, according to the Washington Post. So how, when you hear that the shooter is dead, what comes to mind? How could this thing have gone down? We really don't have a lot of details to go off of right now.
No, but that's a lot of information. And that really does narrow down the possible scenario. That kind of gives me an idea of maybe where the round may have come from. Obviously, it hit somebody, an audience member. We don't know where in the audience they were, where it came from. But somebody around him obviously was, and that the person was killed. What's not clear here is was somebody else possibly wounded. The fact the shooter is dead, that could be a couple of things. In some cases, they will take their own lives after they do something like this. In other cases, it could be what we didn't see was when you heard that initial gunfire, perhaps some of that follow-on gunfire was actually law enforcement or Secret Service out there taking down the shooter. So we're getting a lot more information as far as what this is looking like. And the fact that they have shot the shooter or they've taken out the shooter means that they're doing a deep dive to figure out everything around them. They're looking, obviously collecting any physical evidence, if there's a vehicle around, anything like that, wherever they live, they're going to be looking at that. They'll also be doing a very deep dive on all their social media. They'll be looking at, anything that they've been doing online because there may be connections that just aren't apparent right now that they're going to find.
All right, Hal, so we continue here to show some more of that footage from earlier today. I do want to bring up this, though, breaking news. It has been confirmed by the Associated Press. We have here shooter dead and rally attendee killed at Trump event in Pennsylvania. Butler County District Attorney tells the AP. So we are going to continue on this conversation, of course. But for right now, for anyone that has just joined us, I do want to go ahead and re-rack that entire chaos, that incident that happened earlier today. We have been showcasing on the screen, but of course without sound. And I think it's very important for the audience to just hear in full exactly what happened. So I'd like to play that out for everyone here next.
And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Move it there. Hold. When you're ready, on you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here, move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
You ready?
Shooters down. Shooters down.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Shooters down. We're good to move.
Clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody. So we got to move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
Watch out.
Live coverage. It's the feed from Fox 7 News.
Okay, there you have it. The very scary, intense moments from earlier today in Butler of Pennsylvania. They're at a campaign rally for the former president. We do have a breaking news at this moment, courtesy of Blake Hansen over at Fox News. Here, he says the AP is confirming shooter dead and rally attendee killed at Trump event in Pennsylvania. Butler County District Attorney tells the AP. Let's continue on dissecting this entire chain of events and where this investigation goes from here. Joining me once again, I have my colleague Austin Westfall, and also national security expert, counterterrorism analyst, and also someone who has worked closely with the Secret Service, Hal Kemper. Austin, I understand that you also had some comments to make about this breaking news and something you would like to ask Hal.
So, I'll just reset real quick for the folks that may just be joining. Donald Trump's campaign says that he is, quote, fine after being whisked off of the stage after those apparent gunshots rang out. The quote that the campaign sent out says that President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. He is fine and is being checked out at a local medical facility. More details.
All right, so this is getting serious, you guys. We have 2 dead, including the shooter. We have 2 dead, including the shooter. Trump is okay and recovering. He was whisked out of there, but we have 2 dead, including the shooter. So this is getting pretty serious. It's getting pretty serious, guys. As I said earlier, I knew that this was an assassination attempt because you can't fake getting shot and reacting. Can't fake a reaction. I mean, no one's that good of an actor. As soon as those pops went off, he reacted. So, yeah, way more people could have been injured. I agree. We got comments coming in. Someone says, FRR says, hey, man, these rallies need to stop. People know who they're going to vote for. This is and has been nothing but theater. Well, I mean, it's not theater when we have 2 dead. That's for sure. But I do understand the politics is comment.
So obviously President Trump was the target, but look, he's surrounded by people. If you look at what's going on there are so many people around him. Initially, when we didn't have any reports anybody had been hit, I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah, people
There
were
are so
skeptical.
many people there that if a round came from almost any direction, one might assume it was going to hit somebody. And of course, it does tell you something that it not only hit someone, but they are deceased, which will, I could make some inferences on, without knowing anything about the ballistics, that it has to be a fairly substantial round that would do that. So I'm thinking it could be a very small caliber round, and that would be consistent with what we heard. But with that said, now that I know that somebody in the area was actually killed, depending on how many rounds were fired, that could be a larger caliber round that was further out. We don't have a lot of information on this. That's the issue right now. We don't know much. It could have been something as small as a 22, which is a very small round. It could have been something larger like a 380. Those tend to be smaller rounds, or sometimes called 9mm short. Those are smaller rounds, or a 25 caliber round. These are all smaller rounds, and these might be rounds that somebody would put in, say, an improvised firearm that they could basically sneak into a rally like this and maybe use it as a weapon. They wouldn't have. They probably wouldn't have a lot of rounds that they could fire.
So
It wouldn't be a fully fledged fire.
right now, what we have is Fox News, Fox 7, Tustin. They're trying to understand what's going on. They're trying to understand what's happening. Yeah, I see people are reacting. I got a bunch of comments that are coming in. Man, all I can say is this is real. Former President Donald Trump has been shot at a rally, and they're now going into investigative mode and trying to figure out what happened. Let's see if I have any. I can share. Yep, that is an image of Trump. I don't think I can get any closer there. But that's an image of Trump right there, being whisked off stage with blood next to his ear. All right, that's the real deal. With blood next to his ear. Man, it's just a serious thing right now. It's a very serious thing right now. I want y'all's reactions, man. Keep coming in with the comments. I'm going to continue to cover it. This is how it started.
And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
I heard right there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now about after that another 6 or 7. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm letting people know that we're broadcasting live.
We need to talk.
Sorry about that, everybody. I'm just trying to get everything to go the right way. Hold on here. Okay, I see everybody over on YouTube.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move.
Let's go back to the live coverage on Fox, and let's see what they're saying out there in Austin, Texas.
No suspect were to get away. Of course, we do know now that the shooter is dead. One person was killed. But again, how does that entire process work?
Well, normally what they want to do is, first off, they don't necessarily want to keep them in place. They don't necessarily want to keep them, in the stands. I mean, that's an active crime scene. They have to investigate that. So they're going to want to move people to another area where they can interview them. They can do anything else. They can look at any potential forensic evidence that they may have on them. And so they're going to be doing a lot of that. They will probably move them out, and I would hope in an orderly manner. That's been an issue with crowd control, and that's one of the things I do is I work on what's called crowd management, train crowd managers for incidents like this, on how we move people from point A to point B to where we can control the situation and do all these other things that have to be done. And hopefully that's the case. Now, there have been events in the past where there was a shooter, and sometimes the crowd disperses And it happens so quickly that there isn't a lot of control on where they go. And it's very difficult because they have to go back and figure out who was there. And it can make for a very lengthy investigative process. And there can be gaps in the investigation because they're trying to figure out who was there and who wasn't there. So they're going to be doing that. The other thing they're going to be doing is they're also going to be looking at all the video from people's cell phones, from media, from everything else. And they're going to be trying to identify everybody who was at this rally. They want who they are, why they were there. They're going to want all the information they possibly can. They're going to interview each and every one of them. And they're also going to be keeping in mind that there could have been, depending on what they find out, they're going to be looking initially to find out if there are any other potential co-conspirators, if you will. Somebody that could have been in the crowd that was planning on either that was doing something to assist the shooter, or maybe was there in some sort of assistant sort of role. Maybe they were a backup shooter or something. There could be a lot of different scenarios that they have to rule out very quickly. Secret Service is extremely good at this. They know the mind of a would-be assassin or assassins probably better than anybody else in the world. That's what they do.
Okay,
they
guys.
fully understand.
I have an update from the Guardian. I have an update from the Guardian. Let me read this to you guys. This is a cell phone call, an account from the Guardian. Let me share this tab. All right. So we're now looking at a feed from the Guardian, which is an online site, news site. All right. So from the Guardian, we have here Donald Trump surrounded by Secret Service agents after a shooting at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. So let's just look here and be serious. I mean, Trump has been shot. His ear is bleeding. He has blood on his face. They're trying to get him out of there. All right. So let's not question this anymore. I mean, some people can, but I'll say he was shot for real. I'm not even going to get into the conspiracy side of it. All right. Shooter and attendee killed in incident at Trump rally. Butler County District Attorney Richard A. Goldinger has confirmed to the Associated Press that the shooter at Donald Trump's rally, as well as an attendee, is dead. Now, David Smith has a report here. Eyewitness Blake Marnell, 59, from San Diego, a supporter who wears a brick suit in homage to Trump's wall, recalled via cell phone. All right, good. I'm glad you guys can see this. Recalled via cell phone. I'm in the front row, sitting with some friends watching the president speak. He was speaking about immigration. He had a slide on the big screen, the Jumbotron. I was watching him, and then I heard some noises. I registered them as coming from my left as I looked straight ahead at the president. I didn't know what they were. I don't have any training that would enable me to recognize gunshots from firecrackers from something else like that. I was hoping it was a prank, that it was a bad joke. I turned to my left. I didn't see anything initially. I then turned back towards the president, and that's when I saw him essentially being tackled to the ground by the Secret Service. Then I heard some noises, which at that point I believed to be shots, based on what the Secret Service was doing. I crouched down, and then, seeing there were no more noises, got back up a little bit and tried to pay attention to what they were doing right behind the podium. I could hear the Secret Service agents talking. I did not hear any call for medical. I did hear them begin to coordinate. Let's get ready to move him, do a countdown, and then they bring him out. I was really apprehensive that they were going to carry him, but instead he was on his feet and he was shaking his fist defiantly. I could see blood above his right ear. I can't say where it came from. He could have cut his ear when they tackled him. He could have hit it on a podium. It could be from a gunshot or ricochet. I have no idea where it was. There was clearly blood. I can't even say if it was his blood. A Secret Service agent could have cut their hand and transferred blood to his head. I think when we zoomed on that picture, you guys, we could tell that his ear was fragmented. We'll go back in a moment. He says, I can't say if it was his blood. A Secret Service agent could have cut their hand and transferred blood to his head. But I could tell you that it was blood. So there was the natural inference that he's injured. I was optimistic based on the fact that he was not defiant, that he was shaking his fist, that they weren't whisking him away super quickly, that they would allow him to do that while they were around and protecting him. Just an incredible moment. Clearly, our country needs to do a better job of settling differences. This is not the path. Nobody believes this is the path. It was hard to have reactions when I didn't know how serious it was. I was saying a prayer for him, as were many people. We got together. We were praying for his safety. I was cautiously optimistic based upon what I saw when I saw him leave, but you can't always tell. Now, that was an eyewitness account. Blake Marnell, 59, from San Diego, California, a Trump supporter who wears a brick suit in homage of Trump's wall. He called in via cell phone and what he saw at the rally. I will say this. I'm going to try to go back to the top here. Okay, looks like they've got some Twitter reactions. If you zoom in on this picture, and that's as far in as, there you go. That's as far as in as my computer will take me. That looks to me like his ear is pierced, injured at the top. And I'll tell you what, if a bullet or a fragment got that close to his skull, yo, man, we almost had an assassinated former president. That's too close for comfort. That ain't, like I said, I don't know anyone in their right mind who would fake an assassination by getting almost shot in the head because anything can go wrong. I mean, especially at this is not a car at a stop like Tupac and Suge Knight, where they claim that Suge had it set up and Suge was sitting there and maybe he could have held still. No, Trump was up talking. He was up talking and moving around, and he immediately responded. So I don't know. I'm not even going to try to understand the conspiracy side of it. I'm going to treat this as a human being almost got shot. Okay, whether I agree with his political views or not, whether I agree with his political views or not. Yeah, I think the comments that are on Instagram, you guys should come on over to YouTube, because your comments on YouTube can get shared. So everybody's on the gram, come on over to the tube and check it out over here. Man, I am tripping off of this. This is something different. All right, we're going to go back to the live broadcast and see what Fox
President, you had
has
mentioned
to say.
earlier in our conversation, he is not a current sitting president, but still, he does have heavy security around him at all times. Can you tell our viewers how that works?
Well, he has a security detail. It's not as robust as the sitting president. The sitting president has other things that they have to be concerned with. For example, they are the commander in chief, so they have to maintain communications. They have the infamous launch codes, if you will, for nuclear weapons. There's a lot of things that surround the sitting president that a candidate for president wouldn't have. What they have is a security detail that is really there to protect the protectee, if you will, which is the candidate. In this case, the candidate's former President Trump. So there is a fairly robust capability there. There will be some medical expertise on hand, whether they have a paramedic. I don't know whether they have I would imagine with an event like this, they would probably have something along the lines of an ambulance or something nearby, if for nothing else, just to deal with the heat.
There it is.
In crowds like this.
Law enforcement officials say the shooting at Trump rally is being investigated as an attempted assassination of an ex-president. Hey, that's exactly what I thought they would do. That's because, look, man, we're in the United States of America. I understand that the country ain't perfect. I understand the country has a bad history, but we can't go back to 1960, man, 1965. We can't go back to assassinating presidents. Like, we got to do better. As a country, as a people, we have to do better. We just have to do better. I'll continue because I want you guys to get the information before I share my opinion.
In case somebody gets ill, but with that, the detail itself will have some sort of emergency capability, emergency medical capability, and of course they're fully prepared. They know that what they do, that their protectee, the reason they're there is because somebody may try to shoot them or try to blow them up, and therefore, or something else, and therefore.
Hal, I'm sorry, excuse me. I do have to cut you off for a moment here, because here on your screen, we do have some more breaking news from the Associated Press saying law enforcement officials say shooting at Trump rally is being investigated as attempted assassination of ex-president. Those are powerful words to hear today, especially after seeing what happened at that rally. What do we make of this?
Well, what I make of this is what I kind of expected. I mean, if somebody was killed, in whatever happened, if there was a bystander that was killed, and of course, the former president was wounded, even though it's not a serious or life-threatening wound, if you will, you have to assume, you have to look at this and say, look, that was a bona fide attempted assassination. That's
You do have to take it like that. Let's comment amongst ourselves. I feel this was a real assassination attempt. I see some comments over on Instagram that Trump would put this together. It's staged all the way. Yeah, this is $1 million shot right here. Someone said they missed, but I'm still praying for the victims. It's a lot of comments. Look, I knew it was going to be both ways. Because this is America. I mean, hey, we're freedom of speech, and Trump is a very polarizing figure. I've been on record saying that I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't mind saying that live because I feel strongly about it. I'm not a Trump supporter. That don't mean I want to see him killed. That doesn't mean I want to see the United States government starting to kind of fray, or should I say, the society that we live in. I still believe in a judicial system, even though the Supreme Court has way more Trump MAGA supporters on it than I'm comfortable with. I still believe in the United States. All right, so I'm not with assassinations. I'm just not with it. I didn't like it when King was assassinated. I didn't like it when Malcolm was assassinated. I didn't like it when JFK, any of that. And all this stuff happened before I was born. This stuff my mom taught me about, stuff that I had to go read about. You know what I mean? So I'm not cool with it at all. And just as a content creator, I just got to be honest about how I feel. I am sharing the news, and the news here is that Donald Trump. Look at this, y'all. That is a shot live of Trump on the ground, covered by Secret Service, from the many media people and people with cameras that were down there at the front row of the rally. That ain't faked. That ain't faked. He has blood pouring from his head or from his ear. That ain't faked. Look, if they're that good to fake blood and all of those things, that means that this has been rehearsed and Donald Trump was a part of it, and they had like a little squeeze bag for blood, and they did what they had to do, and they moved everything. I'm not gonna go that far with it. I think he was shot for real, and I feel that I saw that his ear had some perforation on the side. So we'll leave that there. We'll leave that there. Okay, so someone says, Susie says, I don't think this assassination attempt had anything to do with Biden. This was personal. That's getting into the politics of it. I don't think it has anything to do with Biden either. But, when you start getting into presidential assassination attempts, and this is a former president, of course, the onion has many layers and it goes deeper than we know. So, yeah, I don't want to think that either. I don't think it was. But at the same time, we still have an open investigation now because a former president was almost assassinated. He was shot at. They tried to take his life. So just imagine if the shooter didn't miss. That'd have been a headshot.
News from earlier today in Butler, Pennsylvania. Two people dead, the shooter and also an attendee that attended the Trump rally. We did carry that moment live for you. We have been playing it for you throughout the course of this evening in case you have missed it, so you can see the moment that all of this unfolded. I would like to go ahead and reset now that we're about to hit the top of the hour here. We're going to continue our commentary. We are nonstop as we continue to get more information from this. Again, a shooting at a Trump rally from earlier today.
So Fox 7 Austin is just relaying what happened, in Pennsylvania. I will go ahead and play the two audio clips that I have. Yeah, I think we can come back to Fox in a moment.
And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
I'm gonna rewind it. I don't care how many times I watch this. It's uncomfortable because I know somebody's being shot at. You know what I'm saying? This ain't cool, man.
And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think I heard 8. And then from another angle.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here, move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Down. Down.
Are we good?
Shooters down.
Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Down. We're good to move.
We're clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move,
We're clear.
let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down. My shoes.
Watch out.
Wait.
We're watching the coverage, you guys, of the shooting of Donald Trump. The shooter is dead. He's been killed, and then one audience member was killed. Another audience member is injured. So we're watching this shooting here. This reminds me of the shooting of Ronald Reagan back in 1981. Reminds me of that shooting. I think I have a clip that I can share that kind of discusses what happened in 1981 with Ronald Reagan. I'll play a little bit of that. Let's take a look. This is from YouTube. Let's try to play some of this.
March 30th, 1981. John Hinckley was a 25-year-old with romantic delusions, convinced that actress Jodie Foster would be impressed if he killed the president. Outside the Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C., Hinckley caught up with his target.
And I don't think there was a better demonstration of how that training worked than the assassination attempt against President Reagan. Judge Jerry Parr and Ray Shattuck, as soon as that first shot goes off, they grab the president and they throw him into the car.
Agent Tim McCarthy shielded Reagan with his body, taking a bullet in the process. Within moments, the limo sped away from a scene of chaos. Hinckley was buried under a mountain of Secret Service agents. Agent McCarthy, Press Secretary James Brady, and D.C. policeman Thomas Delahanty lay on the sidewalk, severely injured. All three survived, but Brady had permanent brain damage.
This is a reenactment and a covering of the John Hinckley shooting of former President Ronald Reagan. President Reagan back in 1981. He took office in 1980, and this happened in 81. So, the shooting of a president is a big deal. So we're watching something pretty serious right now. So there's the breakdown. That's the breakdown of what happened with John Hinckley and President Reagan back in 1981. So I just want to let you guys know that that's the last recollection from my memory of a president being shot or a former president being shot. So we are watching news coverage of former President Donald Trump. He's rushed off stage after shots were fired. He actually was shot. One person is dead. The shooter is also dead. So we have the shooter dead. We have an audience member dead. So that's 2 people dead. We have 1 person in critical or serious condition. And we're just learning more and more about this as we go. So let's go back live to Fox in Austin, Texas. And let's see what they're saying over there in terms of their live coverage.
Today, that will be found online. It'll be found in social media. It'll be found in various different things, group chats, all sorts of things that people will be saying stuff. And it's not uncommon that they will get a knock on the door from Secret Service agents who will have a little discussion with them to find out more information and to let them know that they're very much on their radar. And more often than not, that's all it takes. And that will deter somebody from doing something. And in many cases, they'll find someone is spiraling in a certain direction, and they were able to bring resources to bear to deal with what could be mental illness or some other problem that resulted in whatever threat that person may have put out there. So they tend to be very proactive. In this case, somebody obviously got to the rally. Somebody actually fired a weapon at former President Trump, killed somebody else who was there. So it was a use of deadly force in that regard, because obviously if it killed somebody, that's deadly force by definition. And so they're going to be looking at how they didn't find this person. That'll be a question they'll ask, but they're also going to be trying to figure out, was this person associated with somebody else? They'll be looking at all sorts of possible motivations of someone who might do something like this, who would want to kill former President Trump. And they'll, I'm sure they'll be looking at the political spectrum of that. And there's unconfirmed reports of who the shooter is, and it's unconfirmed right now. But what I saw, they were immediately talking about an organization which is looks at, it's an by definition, it's Antifa, anti-fascist. Again, it's unconfirmed. We haven't heard any official thing on that yet. It may come in very quickly, but if that's the case, that would definitely fit. That's a left-wing anarchist organization, and that would certainly make sense that one of their more rabid followers, if you will, might get motivated to do something as heinous as what you see here. That would fit, but I don't want to jump to conclusions.
So he's saying,
what I'm seeing is just stuff that's been posted
as a
online.
theory, it could be Antifa.
We gotta wait till Secret Service comes out and really to give us a real good definition of who this might be.
Yeah, so we're looking at coverage from Fox in Austin, Texas, Fox 7, Austin, Texas. They're covering the shooting just like we are here on DaveLifeTV News. Everybody is trying to make sense of what happened. Everybody's trying to make sense of, what happened to allow someone to get that close to a former president and get off what I heard was initially sound like 5 to 6 shots. And I'm assuming the next 7 to 8 were return fire if the shooter was killed. So the first initial 5-6 shots were in rapid succession. President Trump grabbed his ear. Former President Trump grabbed his ear. There's video and picture footage of him on the ground with blood pouring from his side of his face. So it's clearly something happened to him. And they did say, Susie, that they fired the shot at him after he was speaking on immigration. I wonder if there's any relevance. I would probably say not. And the reason is because, at a campaign rally, covered a lot of subjects. That person wasn't waiting for him to mention immigration to pull the trigger. That person was probably waiting on the right moment to pull the trigger. Welcome to the show. I see you, Yvette. Former President Trump has been shot. He was shot at a rally. He's okay. However, another person was killed, an audience member was killed, and the shooter was killed. And another audience member is in serious condition. Let me just update and play this for those that haven't seen it.
And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So that's the initial angle where he was speaking. This is the second angle, the second camera shot that I have where the shots ring out immediately. Like I said, forgive the guerrilla reporting.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here, move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Down. Down.
Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move?
All right, I want to pause it right here. I know that it's hard to zoom in on these video feeds, but right here in this bottom right hand corner, and I will maximize it again. Right here in this bottom right hand corner, you can see reporters, the people that were filming the rally. They still have their cameras out. They're still recording. That's where we got that amazing close up shot in between Secret Service men of Trump's ear bleeding. Oh, it looks like something live is going on here. It looks like the White House. Okay. What do I have here?
Standing by right now. We're going to bring him in. Andrew, I want to point out also that we're hearing in from Jackie Heinrich. The Biden campaign tells Fox the Biden campaign is pausing all outbound communications and working to pull down their television ads as quickly as possible. Andrew?
Okay. So it looks like the White House is going to have a statement, but in the meantime, they're trying to pull down campaign ads. They don't want to look like they're dancing on someone's grave or, celebrating someone being shot, even a political opponent. And so I can understand that. So I'm going to keep this on low.
Yeah, Austin.
Keep this on low until we can see what's going on with the White House. I will come back to that. But I wanted to make the point.
Let's move.
I wanted to make the point here that the media was on the left-hand side. The media was on the left-hand side, you guys. They're down here on the left-hand side. And those are the ones that got the actual picture. Try to move all my stuff out the way. Okay. Yeah, they're the ones, these guys over here. You probably can't see my mouse, but on the bottom left-hand side of the stage, you can see a few media members with hats and everything, and they're the ones that were getting that amazing shot of Donald Trump bleeding, shot. This is something else, man. This is something else. All right, so 2 dead, including the shooter. All right, we're back. 2 dead, including the shooter. 1 in serious condition. Let's see what Fox 7 is discussing.
American history books, no less. This is coming 2 days before the start of the Republican National Convention. To Austin Westfall's point, Hal, Donald Trump holds campaign-style rallies weekly. He just had one in Florida this week at his golf course. This has been a common theme and feature of the Trump movement since he came down the golden escalator at Trump Tower in June of 2015. And throughout the duration of the last 8-9 years, we've seen protesters get kicked out of Trump rallies. We have never seen anything like this at a Trump rally. Trump touts his crowd size at these rallies all the time, every chance that he can get. This one turning so deadly and injuring the former president, and he is safe. We're learning as well, of course, from the Secret Service and from senior law.
I do think it's interesting that this does happen 2 days before the Republican National Convention. 2 days before the Republican National Convention, where they declare their candidate. And the candidate is clearly going to be Donald Trump. I mean, I think they've made that clear. He's already debated with Biden. So this can do nothing but bolster his base. The fact that, you know, someone tried to take his life and he survived is only going to bolster his base. This is interesting, though. I could go biblical. I can go to the book of Revelation. I know this is supposed to be a news show. Oh, let's see what Biden is saying.
The idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do, okay?
Mr. President, do you think it was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to, I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried, President? Was the security failing, Mr. President?
Okay, so we missed the very beginning of those remarks. I want to play those back. Here's Biden speaking just moments ago from the top.
Thanks for coming, folks. I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have engaged in making sure that people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do. Okay?
Mr. President, do you think this was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to, I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried, President?
All right, so I do want to notice what one of the lifers said. I believe it was Susie. Yeah, said Biden seems clear today. He spoke well. He was coherent. And Yvette said, "This is sad. It shouldn't have come to this." I do agree with you guys 1,000%. It should not have come to this. And wow. Per law enforcement, shooter killed by Secret Service sniper team. 2 additional casualties. Wow. Man. This is American history in the making. I mean, we're alive in the middle of American history. This is another attempt on a president's life, you guys. I'm really in shock. I never expected to see this in my lifetime. You know, I know it happened with President Reagan. I was a young man when a young boy when that happened. So I was really in shock when that happened. Might have been 8 years old. You know, now here we are 42 years later. Another attempt on the president's life, even if it's a former president. It's a big deal because, again, whoever that shooter was, a little to the left, it's a different thing that we're reporting. It's a different thing that we're reporting. So this is something serious. Give me your comments, you guys, down below. Put your comments in the comment box. What did he say about 2 additional casualties he did cut out? Let's see if we can hear what he said about the additional casualties.
And the ATF are cooperating and assisting with this law enforcement investigation. But we also know, according to sources, this is being described as an attempted assassination attempt. We just got that news in from Jackie Heinrich there that the suspect, the shooter in this, who is now dead, was taken out by members of a Secret Service task force there on the ground in Butler, PA here. Hal, what do you make of those developments? Because the Secret Service's role in all of this and their response, very quick, we watched it there on the stage. They huddled around the former president, tackled him, got him to safety here. What do you make of the Secret Service's response right now, knowing they took out the shooter? Do you have questions about how they went about this, Hal?
Actually, it looks like it was a standard playbook how they do it. The counter. Now that we know that it was a counter sniper that took him out, I'd like to revise something. We have more details.
Okay.
All right. Initially, it was thought maybe this could be somebody who was in close. Maybe it could be a small caliber weapon. If it was a counter sniper that took out whoever the shooter was, it could be the shooter was further out. And again, this goes to sound. You know, the audio is tough to pick up when we're doing it, indirectly here because we aren't physically there. So it could have been a little bit further standoff than, say, using a small arm like a pistol. We will find out. Could be the counter sniper took out somebody standing right by the stage. That's possible too. But it does open up the possibility that this could have been something with a little bit longer range weapon. I wouldn't rule that out at this point. If it was a counter sniper that took them out, and that's what they do. They look around. They're constantly scanning the area to find out if there's a potential threat out there. Of course, once rounds are fired, they zero in on that very quickly to eliminate the threat, which is exactly what they did. Although it's very clear that whatever happened, now we know there are 2 other people that were injured. We had the report that there was somebody killed, and there is no other conclusion that this would have been an attempted assassination. And I think we're just fortunate that the former president was slightly wounded, but wasn't seriously hurt. So I think they did everything that I would expect.
To our country.
They're going to go back and look at it closely, though. I can tell you they're going to look at they're going to be using this for training purposes for years to come to see if there's something they could have done better.
So, Hal, we're getting more details in just on the minute by minute, if not second by second timeline of how this all unfolded. According to the Associated Press, it took 2 minutes from the moment of the first shot for Trump to be placed in a waiting SUV. As Trump was talking, a popping sound was heard. You're watching the video now. The former president put his right hand up to his right ear as people in the stands behind him appeared to be shocked there. Also, someone could be heard saying near the microphone at Trump's lectern, "Get down, get down, get down, get down," as agents tackled the former president. They piled atop him to shield him with their bodies, as is their training protocol, as other agents took up positions on stage to search for the threat. Hal, we're asking ourselves where the shooter was in this. Is it safe to say, can we make the determination that the shooter themselves, they were not in the large crowd itself? They weren't mixed in with the rally goers there. We know one of these rally attendees was also killed during this shooting here. And we're going to wait on more of the reporting to come in. But you're alluding to the fact that possibly this shooter was not in the crowd at all.
It's possible. A couple things jump out. Number one, taken out with a counter sniper. All right. If I'm a counter sniper, if the individual was in the crowd, that's a more difficult shot, as you can well imagine, because you have somebody, and certainly with the weapons that they're employing, if they were to do that, they would stand the chance of collateral damage. So if it's what they had to do to eliminate the threat, then they probably have to do it. But that's a more difficult shot. But one thing that jumps out when you look at this is former President Trump had his head turned off to the right when he was talking. And then as the shooting starts, he reaches up to his ear. That indicates that somebody had a shot off to the right, because if they were shooting head on, they would have shot him. It would have been a headshot. So they got him off to the right. Of course,
That's
if
a
they were
great
off
point.
to the right, that would normally be, this is pretty grisly stuff, but that would normally be a better headshot, because they'd have a bigger target, because of because of the shape of his head that they can
Wow.
use. He just turned his head, narrowed basically
Wow.
the potential head target that a shooter would have from that angle.
Guys,
And the other thing that jumps out
this is pretty
right
serious.
after it's done, a number of people behind former President Trump immediately turned to the right. Something got their attention off to the right, and many of them were staring at whatever was going on off to the right, which indicates that there's a likelihood that the shooter possibly was off to the right. And that may
I want to explore that, because that's a great point. When you look at the original video, when Trump is talking, he does look to the right. He looks to the right.
And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Wow. Let's just absorb that for a moment. Trump is talking. He's on the podium. He has one shoulder kind of like this. He's looking to the right. For someone to get a shot, if you see my inner earpiece, it's right over the top of my ear. It is touching the cartilage where my ear touches my head, my skull. You can't see it straight ahead. Can you imagine if a person turns to the right? Do you know the accuracy you have to shoot this inner earpiece off of my ear and to cut him right at the base of his ear? Either the accuracy or the dumb luck that you missed. Man, just absorb that for a moment. They tried to kill Donald Trump today. And again, I don't know anyone willing to risk political advantage, public sentiment, or even risk to cover murder like they claim Suge Knight did. I don't think any man is foolish enough to turn their head and say, all right, I'm going to trust that this sniper is going to knock this earpiece off my ear with a bullet and cut my ear. That's insanity. That means either somebody's that good of a shot or they really tried to kill Donald Trump. They missed. Man. One more time. Turns to the right, and then you hear the shot.
And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Not good at all. We're watching live coverage, you guys. This is the other angle. All right, this is live coverage of the shooting at the Trump rally. I see a few comments. I just want to cover some of the comments. Someone said on Instagram, snipers are great shots. So the question is, was it a sniper or was it staged? No, I think it was a sniper. I think we're pretty sure, because what they're saying is that the counter sniper took him out. So that sounds as though the counter sniper is not looking directly at the crowd. The counter sniper probably has a scope and is looking for what's going on at a distance. Someone let me know. Anyone that has information or experience with sniper operations, let me know in the comments. But apparently, yeah. I mean, this is serious, y'all. Look, again, whether we agree with Trump's politics or not, we don't want the United States to devolve into assassinating public officials. We don't. We went through that in the 60s. Our parents went through that in the 60s. For some of you, your grandparents went through it in the 60s. We don't want that, y'all. For some of us, we went through it in the 60s, okay? So that'll be my older cousins and them went through that. My mom and them, you know what I'm saying? We don't want that, man. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want people getting killed in the streets. We don't want public officials being assassinated. Because let me tell you, in today's world, the guns we got now, the scopes we got now, the bombs we got now, the drones we got now, we don't want civil war. It will not be good for the people. We don't want that. So let's maintain order. Let's maintain civility. Let's handle things in the political sphere. Let's vote. Let's protest. Let's march. Let's elect. Let's do all of that. Let's not assassinate. All right, let's go back to what Fox is saying.
Assassinations, Hal, a long line. There's a long history of political assassinations and attempts, ones that are not successful, thankfully. But this has been a unfortunate feature of the last 50, 60, 75 years in American history here, Hal. And you want to talk about the Secret Service response and how they are trained for this. Every former president has a Secret Service detail. Every first lady does. Former presidents' families do as well here. They're trained for this. But, and I don't want to be glib about this, assassination attempts, threats to former presidents and presidents alike come in very, very regularly, do they not?
It's a constant thing. There's people, especially with the online world, the Secret Service, which does a lot of investigations that are in the online realm, as part of what they do with counterfeiting and other things tied to financial crimes. So they're extremely good at it, but they also are extremely good at looking at some of these extremists, some of these others that will put out threats towards protectees, whether they're former presidents or if they are candidates for office. In this case, former President Trump is both. He's a former president and he's a candidate for office, so he has a little bit more robust Secret Service detail than maybe an average candidate would have, say, in the primary season, because of who he is. And certainly he's he's going to be the Republican candidate for president, and so they would amp up his security accordingly.
All right, guys, I have another angle that I want to show you guys, another news feed. This is from marca.com. And this is an online blog showing here that Donald Trump was shot. Again, for those that don't believe it, look at the ear. Look at the ear. All right, so Donald Trump was shot. You see blood on his face. You see his ear looking like it has some sort of dark laceration, puncture wound. I'm telling you, if you ask me, That's right up. That's right up here, where an earpiece would have been. Right here. Do you know how hard it is to shoot someone in the ear but miss their skull? Do you know how hard that is? That was not an intended miss. They intended to shoot him in his head, but they missed. They intended to shoot him in his head, but they missed. Somebody said, yeah, go ahead. They want me to go biblical. Well, first, before we go biblical, somebody said, where are the security guards? All right. Apparently, you guys, this person that shot him, someone has a video, and I don't know if this is 100% real, but this is from marker.com. It says, the world was rocked today when a gunman attempted to assassinate former President Donald Trump at one of his campaign rallies in Butler, Pennsylvania. Trump was grazed by a bullet and escorted out by the Secret Service and is reportedly fine. The shooter is reportedly dead. Sources claim he was positioned on the rooftop of a nearby building near the rally. He was gunned down and neutralized by the Secret Service's counter sniper team once he began firing.
Lá em cima, né? Aqui, ó. You can see the guy there. I think they hit him because the guy it looks dead.
Now look, they're claiming that that's the guy. All right, I'm gonna mute it and try to zoom in a little bit more. They're claiming that this
Lá em cima,
is.
né? Aqui, ó. You can see the guy there. I think they hit him because the guy it looks dead.
So they're claiming that's the body of the guy. In this top right-hand corner, they're claiming this is the body of the guy. And one more time. Again, I don't know if this is real, but this came from marker.com. They're claiming that the counterterrorism team, or I'm sorry, counter sniper team, shot him and took him out. Now they're saying if he was on the rooftop, how did the other audience members get killed? I mean, if he's a sniper and he misses and he sees that Trump goes down, he may just start sniping in Trump's general vicinity, because we did hear multiple shots. One of our lifers, Courtney, says, so sad. My sincerest condolences to the family and friends of all involved. I agree. Amen. Like I said, this ain't about political differences when a man's life is at stake. And I want to also say that President Biden said, I'll try to talk to him today. I'll try to talk to Donald. You know, that was very humane for him to call him Donald. He didn't say Trump. He didn't say former President Trump. He said, I want to try to talk to Donald, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a human being. And again, we may not agree with everything that everyone does, but we don't want America to fall into this. Like we're past this. Let's not go back to this mess, America. It wasn't good in the 60s. It ain't good now. I need to play the audio so you guys can hear the audio. So when Trump goes down, this is the question of if the shooter was on the rooftop, how did the other audience members get killed? Well, just remember that sniper, Trump looks to his right, our left, but his right. So Trump looks to his right. And if the sniper's coming from this direction, and then if Trump ducks, the sniper's now going to try to point down and hit Trump and the Secret Service members, and he could be shooting indiscriminately into a crowd of people. Let's listen to what happened.
Moving to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here, moving to the stair.
Stair, get ready. Stair, get ready.
We ready?
Shooters down. Shooters down.
Shooter down.
Are we good?
Shooter's down.
Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Shooters down. We're good to move.
We're clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move,
We're clear.
let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down. Get the shoe.
Watch out.
Trump wanted to address the crowd. He said, "Fight." I'm gonna tell you now, from a political standpoint, this is going to supercharge his base. Make no mistake about it. Your candidate is older. He gets shot, and he comes up and he says, "Fight, fight, fight." Man, this is about to supercharge his base, and that's just being honest. All right, let's go back to Fox 7 in Austin. They're covering this. Let's see what they're saying over here on Fox 7. This is live with their live commentary.
If there's a venue that can be secured, of course, everyone that comes into the venue is screened for weapons. There should be, and apparently there was in this case, anti-sniper teams on rooftops surrounding the venue. According to your reports, an anti-sniper team took out the shooter. It's very difficult to control all these people. What you don't see is people coming into the venue that are screened. You don't see agents in plain clothes wandering through the crowd, keeping an eye out for suspicious persons. The closer you get to the president, the more agents there are. And those fellows working and ladies working right around the president are giving up their life to protect him. So they're very brave individuals.
What is happening in the beast, if you will, the vehicle that Trump was ushered into promptly after this happened? We saw it with our own eyes, everything that happened outside. But what takes place as soon as he's in that vehicle and the second they start driving away?
Sure. At least one of the agents will be looking the president over carefully to see if there are any other wounds besides his ear. It was only by the grace of God that this headshot just grazed his ear or his side of his head. But while they're in the beast, as you say, they'll be looking for other injuries to him. And assuming they don't find any, well, then they'll calm down a little bit and move on to a medical facility where he can be examined by doctors.
Which administrations have you worked under, sir?
I worked for Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter.
And so can you speak a little bit about your experience with Ford specifically?
Yeah, Jerry Ford was another president that wanted to be a man of people. I remember we did a parade in Dallas, Texas, and he wanted to be in an open limousine to show that I assumed that he wasn't afraid of Dallas. But please remember that President Kennedy was assassinated there in Dallas, and that was a very tense time. We secured the rooftop, the parade route, all kinds of security measures to see to it that he was safe. And it worked out, thank God for that.
So what is the pressure with being a Secret Service agent when you're in these high-pressure environments, sir?
The pressure is so thick you can cut it with a knife. You know that there are bad people out there that would love to do harm to the president, and it's your job to get it right every time. You don't get a second chance.
All right. My colleague, Andrew Kraft, joining me here. And Andrew, I know you have some questions as well.
Hi, Marvin, Andrew Kraft here.
We're listening to a Secret Service
You mentioned that you worked for the Secret Service during the Ford administration.
from the Ford administration explaining how difficult it is to protect the president. Let's keep listening in.
As well here. I wanted to ask you, we're also getting new details in, according to Jay Gibson at the Department of Justice. Federal law enforcement source saying we know the shooter is dead and that an AR-style rifle was recovered at the scene. Marvin, my question to you is this the right time to ask how the Secret Service missed this? We're getting reports that the shooter was not in the crowd, was not even in the venue itself, was outside the venue. Obviously, the actions of the Secret Service are laudable. They saved the president. They whisked him away here. But to your point, the Secret Service trains for these moments each and every day here. Is there some soul searching that's going to have to go on within the organization here, or is it too early? Should we let the investigation proceed here? Should we be asking that question? How did the Secret Service let something like this happen today?
Well, that is a good question. After every event that the president is involved in, there's always a debriefing by the team that is responsible for the security. In this particular case, it's very difficult to say without additional information whether the Secret Service has let something slip through the cracks or not. It's highly unlikely that happened. They are so professional and so detailed, right down to the manhole covers and things like that. So it really is going to take time to sort out and investigate what actually happened before anyone can point fingers.
But Marvin, you're saying that there are possibilities and contingencies that something can slip through the cracks like we saw today. You're saying, and I know this, the Secret Service, they plan for things like this. They check all of the boxes. They cross their T's, they dot their I's with this, but yet something like this happened. So do we have to ask ourselves, was something missed?
I think it's premature to say that. I think you should wait until all the facts are in before making that kind of a determination.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we will do that.
So, President Biden also said, wait a second, breaking news, FBI flight team is en route to Butler, Pennsylvania to conduct an assassination investigation. All right, so the FBI is on this. Yeah, President Biden also said when they asked him, did he think it was an assassination? And he said, I have my opinion, but I don't have the facts, so I'm not going to speak on it. So the FBI is going to work jointly with the U.S. Secret Service as the investigation moves forward. That's Jackie Heinrich. So more information is developing and coming out by the minute, you guys. So I really appreciate y'all for watching. Let's continue to watch. Again, if you're just joining, President Trump has been shot. One audience member has been killed. A sniper gunman has been killed from a distance by a counter sniper team. So this is serious. We had an attack on a former president's life. And right before the Republican National Convention in 2 days, America's in a tough spot, you guys, with all of the politics going on, with all of the Project 2025 conversation about things that the Heritage Foundation and others are trying to do. Now we have an assassination attempt. Let's listen to this.
A couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Move his spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go.
Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move it to the spare. Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
You ready? Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move?
We're clear.
Let's move. Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on. Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold up. Your head is bloody.
So we got to move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
What's up?
Wow. So they get him into his SUV.
And look what happened to.
Okay, so that clip playing back, of course, very, very scary moments. We have since heard from Trump's campaign that he is fine. They say that he is safe. We've heard from the Secret Service saying such as well. I'm going to send things to my colleague, Andrew Kraft, who I believe has an update. We're hearing from the president on Truth Social, Andrew.
Yeah, Austin, he just posted mere moments ago. He says this, if we have it, we could put it up on the screen for everyone. Trump says, I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America, all caps. Austin, we're getting confirmation now. Remember, there was some uncertainty on whether or not he was actually struck with a bullet or whether or not it was glass fragments that hit him from the teleprompter, if the bullet hit the teleprompter and then the glass fragments hit his ear. Former President Trump right now is confirming for all of us that indeed, and in fact, a bullet did hit his right ear, the upper part of his right ear. So that is quite stunning. That is a huge development here. We're hearing that from former President Trump on Truth Social. Mere minutes ago, we just put that post up. And so we heard from the campaign in the immediate aftermath of the shooting there that Trump was going to be fine, that he's in good spirits, thanking the Secret Service, thanking law enforcement. But now we know from Trump's own fingers on Truth Social, typing this out to all of us, confirming, saying that he was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of his right ear. He said he knew immediately that something was wrong and that he heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. And of course, I believe we have a photo, and you can see the blood coming down the side of his face and hit the top of his right ear is very, very bloody as well. I know we have that photo you can see there. You can also see blood on his cheek, also on his neck as well as he was whisked away. So, man, that photo right there is going to be in history books for time immemorial.
And
Austin?
just how close this bullet, as we're now finding out, how close this bullet was to making this situation something much, much different. We have joining us today, Ken Gray,
thing I said.
always standing by for us. Thank you for coming on to help us break this down. Ken, your initial reactions to everything we've been seeing today.
Hi, Austin. So this is shocking that this event should happen like
So they're now just confirming what my suspicions were, which is that Donald Trump was shot in the cartilage of his right ear that connects the ear to the skull. And as you can see, it's not a lot of meat there. It's not a lot of real estate between this part of your ear and your eye, your skull, your head. This is serious business, you guys. Former president they tried to assassinate him today. And again, I don't think anybody in their right mind would set up a sniper or someone to graze him for public sentiment and to win an election. Because if that gunman decides to make a mistake, you won't be here to win that election. So I don't think that is what happened at all. But anyway, this is serious, you guys. Very, very serious. Give me your comments and your thoughts down below. Let me know what's going on through everyone's minds. I see we've got a few people watching. Thank you. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Instagram. Make sure you guys subscribe to Dave Life TV. We cover the news on a regular basis, and we also cover. We have a podcast that we cover, the After Dark podcast. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, follow and subscribe, so that we can cover more information for you and keep you abreast of what's going on. Man, this is historic. I was sitting here preparing things. And I was shocked when this came across the news, and I said, we have to cover this right now. So, thoughts, comments? What do you think, guys? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Let's hear what Fox has to say.
Are we looking for a digital footprint, something more?
So the first thing was getting the president or the former president out of the area and making sure that he is safe. And that was successfully done. He's at the hospital. He's safe, and that there's not. But after the shots rang out, there's always the possibility of another shooter. And that's why you saw Secret Service piling onto the president and protecting him as they put him into that Suburban and got him out of the area. Now, for the investigation, since the shooter is known, since the shooter is neutralized, the focus will be primarily on determining who this person was, what is known about this person, and have they made threats before, whether or not they have posted anything online. And so the digital aspect will be part of this. However, there's also interviews of his family members and colleagues, if they can be identified, colleagues and friends, if they can be identified, to fill in the picture of who this person is and why it is that they would take a shot at former President Trump.
So, guys, what I'm noticing here, hold on, during former President Trump's campaign rally in Butler, a suspected shooter fired multiple shots toward the stage from an elevated position outside of the rally venue. This is Bill Lugan. Updated Secret Service statement. So they're giving us July 13th, 6:15 p.m. Eastern. They're giving us time, approximate time when this happened. So they're just kind of discussing this. Look, you guys, as more information comes out, we're going to have more and more coverage. I think the news cycle is just starting on this. So breaking news, if you have not seen or heard, former President Donald Trump has been shot outside of a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. Trump was shot. And it's been a lot going on in this last 2 hours of coverage. So I want you guys' thoughts and opinions. Please put them in the comments. This is Dave Life. You've been watching Dave Life TV News. We will bring you more updates and more videos as this story develops. I am just in shock. So let's pay attention. Let's keep our eye on what's happening with the former president. And put your comments down below. Let me know how you feel about it. All right, guys. We'll check you out in the next video of Dave Life TV News.